I'm honored to be here today. I'm going to share my screen as well. So, can you see the screen okay? Great, okay. I want to just give everyone an overview of the Botanic Garden community across the world and talk about a few of the resources and programs that BGCI has very briefly. And just to say, as our other partners and the experts, we're just thrilled to help as in any way that we can. And one of our goals is to, as Nasreen pointed out, of the 3,000 botanic gardens worldwide, there are 30 countries that we don't have a botanic garden recorded in yet. And BGCI tries to leverage resources to regions that need it the most for biodiversity preservation, as well as setting up botanic gardens and networks. So that is squarely within our interests and goals. Really quickly, I'll just explain a bit about Botanic Gardens Conservation International. We are a global network of botanic gardens with a mission to mobilize gardens and engage partners to secure plant diversity for the well-being of people and the planet. And we do that in 4 ways: through policy and advocacy, connecting people, sharing knowledge, and saving plants. And the US office where I work out of is based at the Huntington Botanical Gardens out in the Los Angeles area. And we have a close partnership with the United States Botanic Garden to do a lot of our work. So this is a quick collage of the various ways that gardens engage people in really important ways. Botanic gardens worldwide reach over 500 million people every year. It's 500 million people that are exposed to information about plants and the beauty of plants and the plant world. And the community globally it has a very powerful voice, and yet we have a lot of room to grow. BGCI works a lot to train folks around the world. We increase our capacity in training every year. We're reaching nearly 70 different countries, hundreds of people at botanical institutions or related partners. And we train people on a wide variety of topics, including public engagement, ecological restoration. I can just pick out a few here. Red listing and assessing species threat levels is a big one. So I'll move on quickly. Botanic gardens offer some of the world-class institutions, world-class facilities in the world, including seed banks. And you can see 3 here that are more well-known, and they're large institutions. You might be most familiar with the Millennium Seed Bank based at the Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew. And I wanted to point out one tiny facility that is actually making a global impact. It's in my neck of the woods, my neighborhood, near Los Angeles, Rancho Santa Ana Botanic Garden. And these 4 deep freezes here, they're freezers, that encompasses the world's largest seed bank of California native plants. And California makes up a global biodiversity hotspot. So these 4 deep freezes are making a really big global impact, and you can imagine it doesn't cost much for them to obtain those facilities. So hopefully that can show you, you know, that this making a bigger impact is quite attainable. Botanic Gardens, as have been said, have a lot of different types of collections. These are a few photos from my host institution at Huntington Gardens. They have a really nice world-class palm collection, very diverse collection. They also have a tissue culture laboratory that supports a cryopreserved collection as well as very large desert collections, and you can see they look very different. And one of the really nice benefits I think that the Botanic Garden world brings is diversity. And gardens are so diverse, and they take shape in so many different ways. Here are a few of the partner and member institutions in the US. Sharda will be familiar with the top image probably. And Denver Botanic Gardens conservation staff go to the Rocky Mountains where they are located, and they are surveying in the wild alpine species and monitoring threatened species, and also seed banking those threatened species. And that's in their neighborhood in nearby. The lower image I wanted to show you is the Morton Arboretum, one example of the international work that many botanic gardens do. And the Morton Arboretum has some partnerships in Mexico to work on threatened oak species. And this is an example of some of the work with their partners. BGCI's work and the work of botanic gardens and the field of plant conservation are guided by global frameworks. This global strategy for plant conservation, which was adopted in 2001, I think, officially through the Convention on Biological Diversity. And we have a corresponding strategy based in North America, and there are other country level and regional level strategies that mirror this global strategy. One quick note that both of them, as you can see, are expiring this year. And so we're all working to renew these frameworks and looking for the next 10 years of work. These are just a few examples of BGCI's programs. We try to help with a full spectrum of activity and thinking and planning around conservation in all of its iterations at Botanic Gardens. We work in prioritization through 4 global databases that we offer. And Garden Search is actually how we know that there are 30 countries that we don't have a botanic garden documented in. We offer a global tree assessment program. We're assessing all of the trees of the world, the conservation status. And we are going to reach that goal this year. We're utilizing a lot of partners. We also have of interest an accreditation program we just launched last year. We also helps to accredit botanic gardens as formal, as proper botanic gardens. We also facilitate coordination across regions, and we offer resources and publications and guides to have a unified vision of action. And then we offer different programs that help implement conservation programs through ecological restoration, seed conservation, and conservation of exceptional species that cannot be seed banked. This is one of the resources that has been mentioned already that I will just give a quick overview on. This is the Botanic Garden Manual, and it has 8 chapters that span a wide variety. The idea was that it's would span all of the various facets of a botanic garden. And I'm thrilled that some of the partners in this initiative in Afghanistan are willing and able to help us with a translation of this manual. So I'm very happy to support that effort, and would like to also mention that there was a response sent through to this group from Paktia University. I believe I pronounced that correctly. And they provided a list of about 30 native species in their region. And I looked in one of our databases called Plant Search, and about 1/3 of those species are not recorded in a botanic garden collection yet. So there are possibly some easy wins to make just by collecting in your backyard and getting them into a collection. And it's free to contribute to our databases, and we have a whole team of people to support, to facilitate participation in our resources. So I look forward to working with everyone as we move forward. And I'll end with my inspiration for the future is my daughter, Violet. And she's a little older now than these photos, but I just can't let these photos go. She's just an adorable little girl. And she really helps me look at the world in different ways. And I read an article today about how fast-paced our world is and how short-term we think. And the example was around our smartphones that we have near us 24 hours a day, that we can, in a matter of seconds, find anything out in the world, any type of information, nearly. And the article pointed out the importance of plants and just a garden, whatever iteration that is in our lives. And planting plants in the earth is a slower commitment. It's a longer term commitment. It's thinking about the future and decades ahead of us. So I think it's a really valuable activity for us to be encouraging. So thank you very much.